Welcome to the Rude Dude Cast. Rude Cast!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rude Dude Cast episode. Holy shit, Mike, I can't believe I'm saying this. 170. Only 30 more weeks until we hit the big, gigantic episode 200. Isn't that wild?
Dude, that's great, man. In 30 more weeks, this pandemic will be over, or there'll just be no more Earth.
Yeah. We'll see about that.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. You know what? I have to say, we're on the coronavirus so much today as we did last week because it was like, it's what's going on. We just want to kind of distract you from what's going on in the world. My dog is literally right out of frame, just being a pain in the ass.
Of course.
If anybody watching on YouTube or on Twitch, there he is, literally right in front of the camera.
There he
ready
goes.
to pull out my headphones. So we kind of want to bring you an escape from what's going on right now. And you know what? One of the positive things, I get kind of knocked sometimes for being too much of a positive person, but I should say one of the positive things coming out right now is that we got to bring the podcast back.
Absolutely.
It's something that we used to have so much fun doing, and just really kind of it just because everything. And now that everybody's lives have kind of been halted, it's given us the time to come back together. Obviously, Nate's not here right now.
Yes, he may or may not be joining us at some point later today. I just told him he's busy. He's got some shit going on. I told him just join the Discord call if he can, whenever,
Yeah, so again, I'm Big Mike Terry. That's Dan Moronius.
That's
Moronius Funk.
That's me.
The doctor.
Moronius Funk. I like that.
But yeah, so we're here, the Rude Dude Cast, where we talk about all the latest and greatest in video games, wrestling, TV, horror movies. What else do we talk about?
Comic
video
books.
Games, kind of everything. Comic
And wrestling.
books. Yeah. We kind of got to actually, we kind of got an old school structured show today where we got, things we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to dive into Tiger King. Their documentary that's taking over the world right now, like
Absolutely.
The coronavirus, it is spreading everywhere. And then we have a comic book that actually was sent to us, right after last week's show. We got contacted by the great people who put out Invasion from Planet Wrestletopia. We're going to go into Dan's favorite games from 2018 and 19 that we missed.
Right.
Classic games that I asked our listeners and friends. I got this, the Raspberry Pi I was talking about. So I went and took a bunch of your suggestions. And I'm going to all 97 games that you told me to play. And with all the time on our hands, I played all 97 games, or at least attempted
Did you really?
to.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Holy shit.
Like that day, I spent like 4 hours trying to play all the games.
That's crazy.
And then we're going to jump into, TV shows. I don't know if you guys heard, this is breaking news, but Jared Leto has a cult. So we're going to go into Jared Leto and his cult.
He's got a cult? What the fuck, dude?
Oh yeah, we'll jump into it. It's breaking news just this morning. Jared Leto has a cult.
Oh, Lord. Like an R. Kelly level cult, or
we'll get into it.
Okay.
Favorite WrestleMania moments. We'll jump into a whole big wrestling thing at the end. We're gonna go back to the old school way of putting wrestling at the end of the show because we know a lot of our listeners don't really. Some of the people come for the wrestling, some people don't, but. If you want to peace out when wrestling comes on, that's totally cool. And we'll save it for the end because it's a busy time of year in wrestling with WrestleMania.
Of course.
And AEW is still going strong during this pandemic. And so there's a bunch of wrestling things going on. Dark Side of the Ring we could talk about. So maybe we'll jump into that first before everything because that's still like in the TV land thing. So other than that, Dan, how have you been? How is your social distancing beard coming along?
It's great. I mean, I haven't properly shaved my beard since I was 19 years old. I just trim it. What I do is the way I shave is I just literally take this. I take this.
I spilled coffee everywhere.
I take this razor and I just yeet the bottom off like every couple of weeks.
That razor looks perfect for like manscaping.
Yeah, it is. It's a good little beard. I got like CVS. It's like a CVS beard trimmer, you know? It's nothing crazy. Not too crazy, but it's good. You know what I mean? I've just been doing that. Just been shaving once in a while. Just been buzzing the bottom off. That's my social distancing.
Dude, my hardest thing is trying to put on pants. Like, I haven't figured out a reason to put on pants yet. Like, it just... I went to the store today. Dude, gas is so cheap right now.
Really?
In New York, it's $1.99. I can't remember the last time it was under $2.
No. The recession, it was inflated. I don't remember either. After the recession.
Yeah. It's great. It's crazy. Okay, so dude, let's get into what everybody's waiting to talk about here. If you're in our chat, welcome. I don't know if anyone's in the chat just yet. I know it's kind of early morning right now.
Yeah,
but,
sometimes it takes a while for people to come in. But,
it's all good. So basically, dude, Tiger King.
Yeah, so I haven't seen this. You've seen it. So I'll play the role of the inquiring fan that wants to get into it. Mike Terry, I don't know anything about it other than that it's ridiculous. Tell me something about Tiger King.
So, dude, I think you might be the only person who hasn't watched this yet. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So Tiger King is a 7-part series on Netflix about a man named Joe Exotic. That's not his birth name. He is a gun-toting, gay, mullet-wearing, big cat collector. He collects tigers, lions, exotic animals, and he has his own private zoo in Oklahoma. And this documentary is mainly focused on him and his feud with another big cat collector named Carol. And Carol cat rescue. And then there's another man named Doc Antle who has 7 wives. And basically, this whole documentary series is all about crazy big cat people and how there are more tigers in America than there are in the wild. And it's fucking crazy, dude. Like, everybody on the show is a piece of shit.
Okay.
Like, somewhere deep down in their hearts, they are good people in there somewhere. You know, I don't think anyone, necessarily bad or evil. There's good in everybody.
Sure.
And I think all these people, their hearts are in the right place. They're just so fucked up, dude. They have no idea what's going on or what life is really about.
Okay.
Like, they were just upset. They were just obsessed with tigers, dude. And the people they interview, dude, they got people who have lost their limbs, and you'll find out how it's basically illegal, So basically, it's not illegal to own tigers, but it's illegal to breed them, or it's illegal to sell them and breed them. But you can have them. So it's like a loophole. And it's all about like their war with each other, and somebody's threatening somebody, and there's maybe a murderer involved. And dude, it is at quick hours, dude. I literally watched that whole show. I'm Not Okay With This. Whatever the show's called. The guy.
Oh yeah. That's a good show.
Yeah, so I watched that in the morning, and then we did Tiger King for the rest of the day.
Fuck.
And like, dude, Tiger King, it's 7 quick hours, dude. 7 episodes, dude.
Oh,
dude, I've even laid on you. This guy also has a country music career. He's got 23 songs, 16 music videos. The songs are about tigers.
Dude, he sounds like Kenny Powers or some shit. You know what I mean? You ever watch Eastbound and Down? Like, that's what I'm picturing.
So he is Kenny Powers.
Okay.
Mick with Joe Dirt. And
okay, I got it.
and like the most flamboyant gay person you've ever met.
Okay. So basically he's a mix between Kenny Powers, Joe Dirt, and possibly Velveteen Dream. Is that what you're telling me?
Dude, I don't know. I would say more like maybe there's some Andy Dick. There's
Andy Dick. Okay, I've never seen the guy speak, so I have no idea what he's like. I've seen a picture of him though, and I see that he wears like fucking tiger stripe pants and shit. So.
Oh yeah, dude, he's next level.
That's why I say Velveteen Dream, because he looks like he wears shit that Velveteen Dream would wear.
Dude, he's all over the place. He's basically pro wrestler status of crazy.
He looks like a wrestler.
He's not, and then he also has two. He's also a polygamist, so he's got two husbands.
Two?
One of them does. Yeah, one of them does the whole show. Oh, they're both also not gay.
So they're not really gay, or his husbands aren't.
Tattoos of it.
His husbands aren't gay, but he's gay.
You find out later on. I'm kind of spoiling things for you, but
that's okay.
But like, dude, there's really nothing I could spoil because it's that fucking ridiculous that you would still want to watch it, dude.
Right.
You know me, and our old school listeners know I fucking love documentaries, and this show is like next level documentary. And it's ridiculous.
It's 100% real. It's not like a hoax at all.
Dude, no, dude,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Dude's in jail. Dude's in jail too.
Fuck. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Cool. Well, at least we know how it ends. You kind of know how it ends going into it, right? Like.
Oh yeah, they tell you right from the bat that he's going to jail.
Right. That's cool.
Or he starts in jail, and dude, I literally I scratched the of this documentary, dude. There are so many characters in this thing. Like, okay, so like McMillions on HBO. It's a documentary about the McDonald's fucking monopoly. And that was a great documentary that recently came out. And that was really entertaining. There's some great characters, real people acting like characters. But
sure.
But Tiger King is next level. And dude, after this, next week it's coming. I think the next documentary that's going to blow up is fucking the David Arquette documentary.
Yeah, you sent me a thing about that too. How's that? Did you watch it?
Yeah, the trailer looks nuts. I can't think of what the fuck it's called now. Is it Where the Fuck is David Arquette? Or let me see.
David Arquette can't die. You can't kill David Arquette or something like that. Hold on, I have it. You sent it to me. You cannot kill David Arquette.
Yeah, you cannot kill David Arquette, and it's really interesting because David Arquette, for people who don't know, he's an actor. He also, for a brief period of time, was the WCW World Champion in the 90s. There's a very black mark on the wrestling business. He was hated by wrestlers. He was hated by everybody because he was an actor who got given the belt. It's kind of like if The Rock was never a wrestler and he was like just showed up in WWE and they gave him the title because he was The Rock. If that makes any sense. Not that David Arquette was anywhere on the level.
Well, it would be like if WWE's done this too. Like it would be like the Gronk, right? Gronk comes in and fucking imagine if by SummerSlam Gronk wins the title off of like Drew McIntyre or something like that after Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's ridiculous. So David Arquette, he was married to Courtney Cox from Friends. He had a drinking problem. They got divorced. Whatever. He was wrestled like for WCW. Major company in the 90s, then just became an actor and now in the last few years he's decided that he wants to reclaim his throne in wrestling and prove to everybody he has respect for the business and all this shit. And the documentary is just about him wrestling on these independent circuit, kind of like dealing with his addictions and his love for pro wrestling, and everybody be what the fuck. And he had some crazy matches. Actually, I saw him wrestle last year in like March. This time last year, I saw him wrestle in Poughkeepsie, New York. And,
really?
And it was surreal to see him come down to the ring with Jerry the King Lawler. And be
that is surreal.
Like it was one of those things. Like why would I? 20 years removed, it seems so like out of place. Like why now? And that's what I think. Like why now? Maybe he actually did have like a huge, love for pro wrestling, kind of like Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman. Like just something who got. That
was such a good time in wrestling. Well, that was kind of like the beginning of the end of WCW.
There's a whole documentary on it on the WWE Network. It's all about Rodzilla.
Wow. Anyway,
but we won't jump into wrestling yet. We were just talking about that.
Yes, we got a lot of wrestling.
I thought that one was pretty interesting coming out. Let's see. So what else is going on here? So
the comic book.
Yeah, let's just talk about the comic.
So guys,
set it up for
literally after this is the first time. Let me tell you guys something. Yes, we took a 2-year hiatus from the podcast, right? Starting in 2018, but we did the podcast for 3 years before that. Let me tell you, BMT can vouch. not one time had we ever had anybody contact us for anything like this before. But after last week's podcast, we got hit up by Starburns Industries, and they were like, hey guys, we have this comic book that, we think would make sense on your podcast and stuff like that. And would you guys sent you guys some review copies. Would you guys mind checking it out and reviewing it? And I was like, I looked at it. I took one look at it and I was like, hell yeah, because it's absolutely right up our alley. It's by Suspicious Behavior Productions. Written, I'm gonna butcher this last name so bad, so I apologize to the writers if you're watching this or hear this. But Ed Quennell, I'm so sorry, and Matt Enton of Suspicious Behavior Productions. Drawn up by the artist Kendall Good, I'm sorry if I butchered that. Colorist Gio Butler, letterer Sal Cipriano, and editor Brendan Wright, who brought us Invasion from Planet Wrestletopia. That's right, it's a comic book about professional wrestling. You can get it on Comixology.com right now. The first 5 issues, I think, are up. There might be, I know it's a 6-part miniseries, but we've been sent the first 5. Me and Big Mike Terry have both read the first 2 issues. So next week, we're going to talk about issues like 3, 4, and 5. But this week, we're just going to talk about the first 2 so you guys can get a chance, go get caught up and read it, and then come back and hear our review of it next week and stuff like that. But Mike Terry, this comic book actually blew me away. I didn't know what to expect because this was the first time we ever had like an opportunity like this, you know what I mean, where somebody was like, hey, would you mind checking this out? So I was like, sure. Read it. By the end of the first issue, I was like, okay, I kind of like where this was going. You know what I mean? It's a wrestling comic book. You know what I mean? There are other wrestling comic books out there for sure. But
that's what I was worried about at first, because I mean I've jumped into some wrestling comic books before, and usually the ones that WWE put out, they're well drawn and it's whatever, but it's not for me.
Right.
And I have a great one I got for Christmas, actually, all about the comic book history of pro wrestling from the beginning of time, and it's fucking awesome. But it's not like a comic book like with action heroes and like
exactly.
Story. It's all. So this one, I went in like 1 foot in, because track record, I haven't really had the greatest experience. I like to watch pro wrestling. I like to listen to podcasts about pro wrestling. I like comic book, but I never really put the 2 things together and never had success doing so. And right off the bat, you could tell when you see here when you open up the book, written by Ed the Carnage Art, masculine Matt, like. They gave them all wrestling nicknames to all the writers and people on staff. Clearly, it was handled with love, because they dedicated to anyone who's ever taken a bump, done a job, or left color on the canvas for our entertainment. This is for you. Reading it off the bat, I was like, okay, so this is at least handled with some respect and care for the business, which is really cool. But then at the same time, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be real insider baseball, real, very much pro wrestling jargon, and if you don't watch wrestling, you would have really no interest of reading this. And you know what? To be honest, I kind of felt that way through the first issue, and then the second issue started. Yeah, I was like, well, now we are totally in Marvel DC land. Yeah. And I was in a good way, and I thought that they captured it, and I think that fans of any sort of comic book when it comes to superhero would really enjoy it. And I think that the main character, Landell,
yes,
when I was reading him talk, I could hear Ric Flair's voice in my head. Yeah, and that's what they're going for. It's basically taking the wrestling thing, blowing it up to 1,000. But if you're not a wrestling fan, it's super, super fun, and I think it's good for kind of all ages so far. That's my little review of it. I go too deep into it. Dan, what did you think about?
Well, so I mean, I basically felt the same way. What I kind of liked so much about the first issue is like a lot of it kind of like, as a wrestling fan, and I think for like the smart wrestling fans and stuff like that kind of have an ear to the ground and read, dirt sheet websites and kind of have a deeper understanding of the business than like, somebody's grandma that just watches Monday Night Raw every week. You know what I mean? It's kind of, I think you hear so many things about like WWE and how they have, such heavily scripted promos, and then you watch AEW and it's more loose, and they kind of just throw them the microphone, and they, maybe they have bullet point promos where they're like, all right, we want you to hit on this, 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 and this. But with this, it kind of shined a light, because what the main character was going through in the first issue is how I imagine what WWE wrestlers go through backstage on a daily basis, with them changing matches last minute. They hand them a sheet and you got to say this or you're fucking fired. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? That's kind of, that first issue is what I imagine the back WWE being like. You know what I mean?
There was a lot of if you've seen the movie The Wrestler with like Mickey Rourke, it was kind of like a lot of like real life stuff. Like
yes.
At first, just to step it up. And
also, what's up, AJ Capone down in chat?
I like the storytelling, and the flashbacks got a little confused, but I think once you get into the writing style from these, not only that, like not only is it written well and it's funny and it looks good, like the drawings are really good. Like as I'm reading it, I'm on a tablet, but and I read a lot of comics. That there's some great websites out there, Comixology. There's a bunch of other things like pay for sites, or if you have a library card, I use the library and I download a ton of comics that way.
Right.
When I was reading it, I felt like I really feel the pages in my hands. And usually I don't care. Usually I don't care when I read a comic book. I'll read, on my tablet. But I felt like I really wanted to feel those pages. And I think these guys in the 5 issues that they put out so far have really got something. I mean, we're only 2, and it's a fairly new comic. They only did it with, and I don't think it's wrapped up yet. I think the 6th issue isn't out yet.
I'm not sure. Let me check.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thought just like you said, the art, I was impressed, 'cause I didn't know what to expect. You know what I mean? I didn't know what level of production this was going to be. It looks like it's really well made, and it's beautiful art, like any other comic book, any other high level comic book.
Starbird Industries, Industries, and it's an Invasion for Planet. It's the name. If you're just joining us, this is a comic book that we are, talking about here right now and reviewing. I just think it's very tongue-in-cheek, very silly, but also very, very smart.
Yeah.
So far, dude, why don't we just give the premise of what he's about?
Yes. Also, yes. From what it looks like on Comixology, it does look like only the first 5 issues are available. Yep. I got the synopsis for it right here. Let me actually read that. Where did it go? It's in my other email. Hang on a second, guys. Beatboxing for you in the meantime. Okay, so basically the synopsis is Invasion from Planet Wrestletopia is a 6-issue miniseries created by Ed Quennell, sorry for butchering your name again, and Matt Enton of Suspicious Behavior Productions. All right, so this isn't really a synopsis for the book. It's just a synopsis for how it was written. This is the synopsis for the book. Invasion from Planet Wrestletopia. When a disgruntled professional wrestler declares himself galactic champion of the universe, a planet of alien wrestlers views it as a declaration of war. So you can kind of see how it goes into the sci-fi aspect of things. Also, what's up, Adam down in chat? How you doing? Just popped in. What comic are you guys talking about? We're talking about a new comic book, 6-part miniseries called Invasion from Planet Wrestletopia that we were asked to review for the podcast. And it was actually awesome. We read, like I was saying earlier, we read the first 2 issues of it, and next week we're going to cover 3, 4, and 5, but we don't have issue 6 because it's not out yet. But, so yeah, that's the synopsis for it. This pro wrestler is cutting a promo, and he's sitting backstage, and he sees this pizza box that says Universal Pizza. It's something like that. It's like it says something about space on the pizza box, and he picks up the pizza box and he tapes it to like a belt, and he reveals and declares himself the Universal Champion or whatever, right? And
the champion of the galaxy or the universe.
Yeah, one or the other. And this far off alien planet of wrestlers takes that as a declaration of war because they think they're the true galactic champion. So they invade Earth, and it becomes this big sci-fi war between alien wrestlers and Earthling wrestlers. And it's just sensational, over the top, but perfect for a wrestling comic book,
Yeah, it's really, really, really well done. I'm excited. We were yesterday trying to crush it, doing the cast today, but we wanted to give listeners a chance to maybe catch up and read a little bit. And maybe next week we'll talk about like the rest of the book. So far, we'll do issues 3, 4, and 5, and kind of really talk about it because right now we don't really want to spoil too much about it, But other than that, Dan, during this time after my rant last week, I heard you attempted to read Watchmen.
I tried a few times, and it's just so, like you said, it's just so dense. And where I'm at mentally, I just can't focus. I can't focus on that much text at once. You know what I mean?
I told you it's dense, but once you get over like the hump of the first like chunk of pages, it gets really it gets easy to read.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, I start reading it, I'm just like, I just get distracted. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Yeah. And then I put it down for a second, and then I pick it back up for a second, and I'm like, fuck, what happened? And then I forget. And then it's so dense that you can't just like turn the page and go read the previous page because it takes you 10 minutes to get through a page. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And that's kind of how I would read a comic book. Is like I have bad ADD. So like I'll read a comic book and I'll get distracted, and like oftentimes like, wait, what happened in that last page? I forget, and then I'll go back and read it. You know what I mean? Could take, but Watchmen is so dense that it just takes a long time to do that. So that's why I'm having trouble getting into it. You know what I mean?
Yes. So okay.
So what else?
With that being done, you guys want to jump into video games? Since
yes.
We're talking about
Definitely. So what occurred to me is one segment we used to do on the podcast before we went on our 2-year hiatus in 2018 and 2019. We did not do this because we weren't doing the podcast, but every year leading up to that we did do the podcast, I used to do a segment every January where I would declare my game of the year. Right? So I thought today it would be a good idea to give you, I mean, we stopped doing the podcast, but I never stopped playing video games. So I figured it would be a good idea to give you my 2018 game of the year and also my 2019 game of the year. So,
dude, it's a really good idea too. So many people are going out right now on Xbox Switches and GameCubes and all these, Sega Dreamcast, all these whatever new systems.
Sure.
More so is what I'm getting at. I'm sure there's a ton of people looking for things to play.
Absolutely.
So this might narrow some choices down, because when you got too many, sometimes you get a little overwhelmed or flustered, and then you won't know what to play, or you just get stuck playing Minecraft and the other stupid game that everybody plays on Twitch, the building game with the guns.
Fortnite. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So 2018 was a tough year. Usually I would give you like a full list of, usually when I do this, I'd give you the full, like, here's my top 5 games of the year that I played, right? But because it was 2018, I don't fucking really remember what came out in 2018. But what I do remember is the top 2 games, and I remember feeling this way and having a really tough choice between these 2 games because it was such a toss-up in 2018. First of all, God of War came out in 2018, and that game was so good. It's not my game of the year, but it was damn close. My game of the year is better. It was game of the year for me just like by a hair over God of War in 2018, okay? It's Red Dead Redemption 2. You cannot dispute it. It's just such a fucking impressive game. Just everything about it. I remember playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and just being so blown away by like going through a town or a village or something like that, fucking, walking in the mud or like falling down in the mud after getting in like a bar fight with somebody. And then you get up and you see your imprint. You see your players, you see Arthur Morgan, the main character of that game's imprint in the mud. And he gets up, the mud is on him, and the imprint of him in the mud is still on the ground 30, 40 seconds later. And it's just like, that level of detail is just unprecedented, even, I think, to this day in games. It's crazy. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, dude, that game was taking the world by storm. That game was taking the world by storm. Dude, South Park even did like a 2-part episode.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I remember. And
that's Rockstar, man. Rockstar,
Yeah, they don't fuck around, dude.
So good. They're so good at like making games that like just take over like the video game community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like when Mario comes out. Like when Super Mario Brothers comes out, it's always popular. No matter what the Mario game is, it always is popular and it's always good. Rarely do you get a bad Mario. I don't think there has been one. And I think Rockstar has got that clout with all the GTA games and Red Dead that like you know what you're getting when you're purchasing one of their games. And hold on, I'm about to sneeze. Oh, I guess I didn't mute myself. Did I mute myself?
No, but it's fine. People love that shit.
Oh, okay. And now my Discord wants to explode.
Of course. Your Discord is exploding, but it's okay. Next week we'll do Zune. Fuck it.
Yeah, I don't know why Discord sucks so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Continue.
Yeah, so Red Dead, I mean, just from the visuals to the gameplay to the story to the cast of characters that they had in that game, they had amazing characters in Red Dead Redemption and amazing actors voicing them. The world was massive. Can I just say how big that fucking game is? And what's crazy about it is you have the game, and the way that Red Dead was designed was like 6 chapters and a prologue at the end, right? And so like 7 chapters basically. And just like the whole first 6 chapters of the game, you get what you think is the whole map. And it's massive. It would take you a half hour to trek on horseback from one side of the map to the other at full speed, right? And then in the prologue, they're like, but wait, there's more. And the map like doubles in size. You know what I mean? In terms of width. You know what I mean? Not necessarily. It's as wide as the entire map. But, you know, there's this whole extra area of the map that you can't access until after you get to the prologue. And it's like twice the size. It doubles. It's crazy. And so just the size, the story, the gameplay, it's just all so incredible. It just came out on PC. I've only played it on Xbox One, so I'm definitely going to get it on PC and do my second playthrough of the game on Twitch pretty soon. I don't know when I'm going to do that. Maybe after The Last of Us 2 comes out, I'll do a playthrough of Red Dead. But yeah, so that was my 2018 Game of the Year, only topping God of War, which was just also so good, my runner-up for 2018. That game also blew me away.
When did The Witcher come out?
The Witcher 3,
2016. Oh, okay.
Yeah, or 2015.
Did you watch the show?
No, I didn't watch it. It just doesn't, because it's not really based off the game. You know, what they said about the Witcher TV show was that it's not based off the game, but then you watch the trailer for it, and the dude sounds exactly like the character does in the game. It's just like, okay, dude, you know?
Gotcha.
So, I don't know.
Okay, so 2019, what was your game?
2019 Game of the Year. So 2019 was a light year for video games. There was not much that came out that really blew me away. The only 2 games that I could even say were close. Now, a lot of people, let me tell you this, first of all. The game that won, there were 2 games that won a lot of awards in 2019 that I either didn't play or didn't like. The first one that was getting a lot of Game of the Year awards was a game called Control, which I did not play because it just didn't really grab, like I wasn't interested in it. The other game that was getting a lot of Game of the Years was Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, which was the newest game to be released by From Software, who developed the Dark Souls and Bloodborne series. I just didn't like it. I love Dark Souls. I love Bloodborne. I love that style of game. Sekiro, it just didn't interest me because it's a samurai game, and I'm just not into that kind of shit. Okay,
you racist.
I'm just not into samurai shit. I just don't like it.
I'm joking. That sounds interesting.
I mean? It's like I could say this because I'm Italian, right? It's like I like the Sopranos, right? But if I was a person that didn't like mafia shit, I wouldn't watch The Sopranos. If I don't like cartel shit, so I don't watch Narcos. You know what I mean? Or Breaking Bad.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't like
like feudal Japan just doesn't interest me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
you like cowboy.
I like cowboys in America. Much obliged.
You like assless.
I like big butts in pro wrestling. But yeah, so Sekiro didn't really, and let me tell you something about Sekiro. It's fucking hard as fuck. It's way harder than Dark Souls, right? And with those kind of games...
No, I don't believe that.
Oh, yes, it is. 100%. Because Sekiro has this rhythm to it that you have to learn. Dark Souls, I'm like a seasoned Dark Souls veteran. I've beat every Dark Souls there is to beat. So Dark Souls...
Look at you.
Look at me. Dark Souls flex. But Dark Souls is like simple to me because I understand how to play it. Sekiro has a huge learning curve compared to Dark Souls. But I wasn't interested enough in the game to suffer through learning its mechanics. That's why I didn't like Sekiro. That's why it wasn't my game of the year when so many other people were naming it game of the year. My game of the year 2019 was simply a game that was a lot like Dark Souls, but not made by From Software. It was a game called Code Vein, which is very similar to Dark Souls. It's basically anime Dark Souls. Now, I don't like anime in the slightest, but I love Dark Souls gameplay. And
What do you...
What?
You love Naruto.
I don't love Naruto.
You love Naruto.
I don't love Naruto. I literally, I just don't watch anime. But this game basically...
Sailor Jupiter.
Sailor Moon. This game is basically, they just took the Dark Souls formula and put an anime coat of paint over it, right? And what I kind of loved about it is, it's the only non-From Software game that's like a Dark Souls clone that did the game right. Like, they took all the little... They paid a lot of attention to the Dark Souls, like, mechanics. Just simply, like, player movement. Like, in Dark Souls, if you rotate the stick around like this, the right stick around, like, if you spin it in a motion
It looks like Final Fantasy.
It looks like Final Fantasy, but it's Dark Souls.
Okay.
So it's just everything from the movement to the animations. They just nailed it, and it had the right feel of like a Dark Souls type game. Where so many games, they make these Souls-like games, and they just feel off and they feel shitty. This felt as good, if not better, than any Dark Souls game that I ever played. So I loved Code Vein. The story, I didn't really give a shit about. You know what I mean? Because I don't care about anime. But you could just skip all the story and cutscene shit and have a fantastic game. It had a crazy character creator, like insane levels of detail with this thing. So I loved it.
This was your 2019 Code Vein?
Code Vein, 2019 Game of the Year. I can't recommend it enough if you're into like games like Dark Souls. The other one, a runner-up, not my Game of the Year, but a runner-up was a game called Outer Worlds. Which was like it's basically the people that made Fallout New Vegas telling Bethesda to go fuck themselves and making a game that's
Bethesda.
Yeah.
Bethesda.
Whoa, what a fall from grace Bethesda took since we last did the podcast. Holy shit. They're like the least reputable video game publisher on the planet right now.
Why? What did they do?
Oh man, they released a game called Fallout 76 that just had... It's just an absolute disaster.
Okay.
One day when we're strapped for content, I'll tell the story of it on the podcast. But so Outer Worlds, AJ Capone down in chat says Outer Worlds was ass for him. I know he didn't really like it too much. A lot of people didn't like it. Did Fallout 76 ever get better, as SD Spider-Man says in chat? No, and apparently it got worse. So much so that they made it a $100 a year subscription service, which is fucking more than Xbox Live or PlayStation Network. And fucking and all that you basically got with it was a more inventory space. And when they fucking
way.
Yeah, and anybody that bought the subscription service, Bethesda fucked up, and everybody's items that they had in their old inventory got deleted. And Bethesda was like, "Oh no! Don't worry, we'll fix it. You'll get your inventory back." And they never got their inventory back. It was just like Fallout 76 was just disaster after disaster after disaster after disaster. But yes, sounds about right. I just played through Outer Worlds. It's Fallout Light. Yep, it's like a short Fallout game made by the people that did Fallout 76, Obsidian. It wasn't my game of the year because it just, like, it was really good. I enjoyed it. The gameplay was really good. But it just wasn't deep enough, right? It wasn't deep enough in the way that a Fallout game is deep, where you could spend 3 months playing a Fallout game. Where with Outer Worlds, you could pretty much bang through it in a week or two. You know what I mean? It's like a 20, 30-hour game. You know? But anyway, Mike Terry, are you with me? I can't hear you. You're there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I said it was like a cat, just a way to make money. Like the way the WWE puts out games every year just so they make money.
No, because Obsidian is indie. It's an independent studio. You know what I mean? So it's like, basically Fallout took a huge fall from grace, and Obsidian, who made one of the most beloved Fallout games, Fallout New Vegas, were like, you know what? Fuck Bethesda. We're gonna make our own game that's like Fallout but not Fallout, and so that's what they did. They were yeah, it was more like that kind of a situation where they were telling Bethesda to stick it. And because it was also worked on by Obsidian in collaboration with the people that made the first 2 Fallout games, Fallout 1 and 2. So this was like, kind of positioned to be like a hardcore Fallout fan's dream game. And it didn't necessarily pan out to be the best, but it was still good. Like, especially in 2019 where there was just such a shit lineup of games out last year. That's why it's my number 2 game, and Code Vein's my number 1 game. Like, these were just in any other year, these games wouldn't even been in my top 5 list. You know what I mean? But because there was just such few games out last year that I liked, these are my picks. That said, that's it. So 2018, obviously Red Dead Redemption 2. 2019 Game of the Year, Code Vein.
What's your early contender? First 3 months.
There's not been a single video game out that I've played that came out this year that's new. But the games there are games. On the docket? Yes, The Last of Us 2 is coming out in the end of May, and of course, Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out in September. So
do you think because of what's going on in the world, these things are going to get pushed back?
Well, I don't know about The Last of Us. It's certainly possible, but CD Projekt Red, who's working on Cyberpunk 27, has vowed that they are sticking to their September release date and that they have everybody in the studio working on the game from home. So we'll see. It's kind of like a fingers crossed up in the air type thing for both of those games. But hopefully they come out on time because, God, do we need some new goddamn video games right now. So yeah, it's going to be a toss-up between those 2 games for sure.
Cool.
Unless something unforeseen comes out and blows them both out of the water, but I highly doubt it. What's next on the docket here, Terry? Classic video games review by Mike Terry.
Yes. So last week I was talking about my Raspberry Pi, looking for suggestions from our listeners and audience, and I took the book and I got 97 different games to play. Most of them were but some of them I had never heard of. And so I made it my goal and mission to play them all. Maybe not all the way through, but at least check them out. Some of them are classic games. You really don't need. Right, sooner or later, early on, you'll know if you play through it or not. Mm-hmm. So I checked out this game for original Nintendo NES called Caveman Games, and it was so weird. It was like the Olympics with cavemen. And
the Olympics
there was
with cavemen?
So basically shot put, like where you spin around with the ball and you throw it like in the Olympic.
No,
they had that, but like a discus, like you spin and throw something.
Okay, cricket?
Huh?
Is it like cricket?
No, cricket's like baseball.
Okay.
Anyway, so they had these games, and it was like some caveman grabs his wife and spins his wife around and throws her and tries to get her as far as possible. Some descriptions of the cavemen were like ridiculous. He's a hunter-gatherer. He likes love beach and like candlelit dinners, and is like really ridiculous. That was a fun one. I played Decap Attack on Genesis. It was really fucking weird. I stopped playing it real quick. Skitchin was cool. That was a super fun game where you're rollerblade. Basically have to like do tricks and like hang on to, kind of like Road Rash. Remember Road Rash?
No.
Riding a motorcycle? Oh, well, that was a good one. I played Yo Noid, which the Noid was a thing from like the early 90s. It was ridiculous. I got let's see, what here? Somebody said we should play Two Crude Dudes for Sega because it sounds like and
it sounds like
I got it was basically a side-scrolling fighting game. I got a lot of RPGs.
Okay. Hold on. I'm just letting people in chat know that our videos are going to disappear for a few seconds. I'm going to try to go into Discord and fix Terry's audio issues, but Terry, keep talking. So I'm going to try to work on your stuff while you're talking.
Okay, sure. So, I played a bunch of these classic games, and I told everybody I would give the ones that they suggested I would play and give a quick review. So Battle for Olympus, I could not get into. It was an RPG, and I was never really a big RPG fan. There was just so much reading. I felt like I was reading and doing nothing and just not really playing. River City Ransom. That one was awesome. So it was a side-scrolling beat-em-up game, but yours and like, pick up items, buy items, and clearly a Japanese game that was like, given English subtitles, and that one was really, really fun. Somebody else responded to my post and thought I was giving away pot.
What the hell?
Like not like actual like pie. So that was stuff. That I played this weird called Monster Party.
Okay.
Basically, you're like a kid. It's basically like the comic book paper. You're like a kid walking around like and you get abducted and basically taken to like another time zone or period, and you just have to fight all these weird monsters. And in one of the like things, you have to fight a giant talking fried coconut shrimp. Like that's how ridiculous it was. I don't think I could show it in the chat, but that's like the coconut shrimp.
Okay.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Double Dragon, Battletoads, Sky Blazer was a cool one. I played that for everybody said play all the Mega Mans. Have done all those. Contra. Dude, there was just a lot. Dude, there's too many games to go through, and I appreciate it because I'm still going to go through a lot of them.
Sure.
And then I got a lot of these dog.
Terry's internet's dying.
He's like,
oh,
hey, come here, get over here.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, sorry. Listeners who are listening and seeing this, I have a dog and he's deaf. He's 100% deaf, so I can't really yell at him to be quiet. So, so it's kind of tough. So I apologize for that.
You can only do what you can do, right?
Basically, I got a ton of games to play. Some of them were obvious ones like Double Dragon. I asked for obscure games. Do you know what game I played? One of the best classic games ever that I totally love, and I played it so much as a kid. DuckTales for Nintendo. DuckTales for Nintendo. If you want people to watch you on Twitch, play that. That game is dude, that game is like Dark Souls level hard. Like smash your fucking face hard.
Smash your controller. Terry, you know what I want you to play?
But it's enjoyable. It's like really enjoyable.
Do you have any kind of Windows like laptop or computer?
I do.
Do you have at least Windows 7 on it?
Yeah, but I mean, my laptop's pretty.
Oh no! You could run this game. All you need is you could definitely run this game. You just need 2 gigs of RAM, 1,200 megabytes of this. Oh, you could play this game for sure. Listen, I want you to make a Steam account and go fucking download Jump King. That's what I want you to play.
Why?
I want you to play Jump King because it'll make you crazy.
You know what classic game that I never got to play that's not a classic game but looks like one?
What's that?
Cuphead.
Oh, God. This Cuphead will fucking end your life, dude. It'll ruin your life.
Dude,
but so will Jump King. You would like Jump King.
Game. I'm a big side-scroller fan. I'm a big Sonic fan, side-scroller. I'm a Super Mario fan, Super Mario World 3, Yoshi's Island. Like, I'm a big classic game fan like that. Even shit like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong I like because it's just the level of difficulty.
Yeah.
Is, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's... I'm not going to get into every single game that got sent to me.
Sounds like you played a lot.
I did.
What else do we got here? TV shows. Dude, the litany of television shows that have been on for me on Sunday night. That's why I'm missing all these other shows like Tiger King and all this other shit that people are watching right now is because the litany of Sunday shows is just so strong for me that I just don't feel the need to watch anything else right now. You know what I mean?
Dude, Sundays and Wednesdays. Those are
the only days that I look forward to. But so Sunday, dude, I don't know what's up.
I was gonna say, give me your Sunday dog.
My Sunday lineup has been for the last couple of weeks now. The Walking Dead, which we have some bad Walking Dead news that we're going to get to. We got Walking Dead, Westworld, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, and that's been my Sunday trifecta. So, I guess
I'm with you. I got Walking Dead. I have now Westworld, and we were watching.
What did you say? I didn't hear.
Outsider.
Okay. So there you go. You got a litany.
That's my Sunday, but my Wednesdays I got Survivor, NXT, AEW.
Yes. Of course. We
got Dark Side of the Ring is back now.
Right.
Some documentaries. There's tons of shit going on.
Hell
but
yeah.
Anyway, lay on your shitty news.
Yes. So The Walking Dead, and I guess we'll use this as a means to segue into our spoiler-free review of The Walking Dead from this past Sunday. But unfortunately, we got the bad news. There's 3 episodes left of The Walking Dead this season, episode 14, 15, and 16. Yesterday, AMC announced that unfortunately, due to the COVID-19, I know we're not trying to talk about the virus, but there's no way around this. Due to the virus, The Walking Dead's season finale, episode 16, is going to have to be unfortunately postponed to later this year because of production problems. They have to do, not production problems, but post-production stuff that they can't do because they can't work on it, because they can't go to this. Post-production can mean anything. It can mean they might have to fly a fucking actor out to a vocal studio to re-record some dialogue. They might have to reshoot something. They might have to do CGI or something like that. And the studios that would be doing this are shut down because of the virus, so they cannot get to it. So it's going to be postponed till later this year, which is a huge bummer because we're going to get episodes 14 and 15, and then we're going to get hung out to dry on the finale and have to wait, maybe till summertime or even later, so to know how it ends, which is a huge bummer. But that's the unfortunate news. But the good news is that the Walking Dead episode, Mike Terry, that aired this past Sunday, I thought was fucking great. I know you were kind of like, you thought it was good, but weren't as hot on it as I was. We know some other people were a little bit more mild on it. But I want to try to keep this spoiler free, but there is a big cat that we have to kind of let out of the bag. So if you're
big
worried...
Cat, you talking about Tiger King? Big cat?
About a big cat that has to get let out of the bag. In order to talk about this in any capacity, this could be warranted as a spoiler for some. I mean, it is a spoiler, but it was used in AMC's marketing for the season. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers for this episode at all, maybe just mute the stream for a couple of minutes or come back or whatever. But spoiler warning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This was the beloved character Michonne's final episode. This was announced long before the season started. It was announced last year at Comic-Con that this was going to be her final season and that she would be in like 6 episodes, and this was her 6th appearance. So I don't want to give specific spoilers for the episode, but I just want to say that I thought it was an awesome send-off for the character. They did a lot of really amazing shit in terms of like CGI, like flashbacks and kind of like what if scenarios. What if the whole episode was kind of based around like, what if Michonne made this crucial choice in season 3, and it showed how her life path would have changed had she done this instead of that. And
was that in the comic?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay. Not
at all. And I just thought it was such a creative, cool way to do it. It was, done by way of drug hallucination, which Mike Terry, I remember you said when we were talking about this that you weren't such a big fan of that.
I feel like they do it a lot.
It's overdone, right? Now, and you know what? It's kind of like, it reminds me of like the format for the whole show, right? Because when Rick left the show, he didn't have a drug hallucination, but he was bleeding out and nearly dead, and he was tripping his ass off having hallucinations because he was losing so much blood, right? And so it's kind of becoming commonplace for them on the show to basically every time a character leaves the show, like a major character leaves the show, they give them this send-off and they bring back old characters that have since died. But in order to do that, they have to come up with creative ways to bring back dead characters. You can't just have somebody come back and be like, hey, I'm back from the dead for one final scene. you have to do it by way of like a flashback or a hallucination or something like that. And I thought they did maybe the best job that they've ever done doing this. You know what I mean? In terms of like bringing back old characters for an episode. But yes, it is kind of getting overdone, but at least they've kind of found a different way to do it this time. AJ Capone says in chat, this show has become the comic season 1. But yeah, so it was an interesting send-off for her. And from what it sounds like, she might be broke the comic. Oh yeah, it's nothing like the comic anymore. I mean, they're still following the same arc, but so many characters have come and gone that different characters are fulfilling, comic book characters' roles that aren't in the show anymore. You know what I mean? But they're still following the same path. You know what I mean? They're still encountering the same villains. They're still following the same trajectory as the comic book. Just, instead of, this such and such events happening to Rick, these things are now happening to Daryl or another character or so-and-so. You know what I mean? Anyway, but being that it was Michonne's last episode.
Question.
What's up?
So wait.
What's up?
Who the hell is going to take care of Jude?
Probably it's probably going to be a group effort. I'm assuming mostly Daryl, Carol, Maggie, who is coming back in the next couple of episodes. I'm sure it's going to be a group effort. But she's got I think she's got a good role model in Daryl to look up to.
Yeah, but she was like the only one who knows that her mom. Actually, she's not back. Take care of me.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, neither of her parents have really been there for her, right? Her blood parents.
Yeah.
Like her mom.
That's true.
Her mom was Lori and Shane, and her dad was Shane. So.
Well, do we know that? Do we know her dad was Shane?
Yes, Rick said that to Michonne. He says, "I know I'm not her father." I remember that in like season 8 or something like that.
Oh, right. When is she gonna find out? That'll be crazy.
One day, probably in the movies. Anyway, so it sounds like Michonne is getting sent off to the Rick movies, which is kind of cool. I'm looking forward to that. Terry, what did you think? Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't think it was phenomenal by any means, but I liked it. I thought the character maybe made something she would have, and but I think the storytelling aspect of the episode was how they did the flashbacks, and if she went to decide to go a different.
Yeah. What's this guy's name? Kevin Carroll. Terry, you with me? I can hear you now. So, also in this episode, what's that?
Oh.
Kevin Carroll.
No, I said it. Yeah.
Hold on. Kevin Carroll. I just want to make sure I got the right guy's name. From The Leftovers, played John Murphy in The Leftovers and played that character Virgil in The Walking Dead. His story was kind of rushed a little bit. I'll say that. But, which is unfortunate because that dude is such a good act over. We know that from The Leftovers. His character kind of was funneled into The Walking Dead just to kind of play like as, his character was just a pawn to like kind of get Michonne's story to where it needed to be by the end of the episode. So his character development was really rushed for this one episode. You know what I mean? That was the only negative thing I could really say about it.
It seemed like he was just like there to like shuffle along the story.
Absolutely. Terry, what the fuck did you think of Westworld?
Dude, Westworld was crazy.
Hell yeah.
I started watching it and I knew from the beginning, I was like, they're in a loop, and that it was just done beautifully. I don't know if you caught it, how smart Maeve is in shutting down the system, basically overloading it so that it would froze everybody. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like in Westworld when you normally watch it, froze, like when they go freeze all more.
Yes.
People's hair still blows in the wind. The program is frozen.
Yeah. The whole thing, the whole simulation.
The whole thing, the whole simulation was frozen. And when they showed the Drogon from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then the two writers from Game of the Scientists
That's who that was? Okay.
Yeah. Super smart tie-in, super cool.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's really fucking with my mind because I'm starting to really believe. I think everything is a big simulation, and like the reason why they keep showing us those circles with destiny is because that's basically what that big orb is telling us. You know, the big orb thing. But I don't know. Dude, the show is. Once I start understanding what's going on in the show, I just get more confused, and then it's definitely more straightforward this season. But it definitely makes you think. Like when you think shit, you know.
Well, this is the common trend that I've noticed in Westworld, right? They always kind of make something a little more obvious, right? And the concept of this all being a simulation, right, was addressed in the first issue where that guy was kind of said it jokingly. He's like, the guy was talking about Westworld and all the different parks and stuff at that party, the Insight party, and he was like on that rooftop. And he was like, yeah, what if this is all just a simulation? You know what I mean? Kind of just, you know what I mean? And so they said it jokingly. Oh, Terry's gone. They said it jokingly. And then in the next episode, we find out that there was a little bit of a simulation, but it was just for that one instance, right? So the whole concept of the whole show being a simulation, maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Who the fuck knows? But what I noticed is the common theme. Terry, are you there? Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Yeah, sorry. It fucked up the stream and my audio, and then I was trying to fix it, and the dog fell off the couch, like on his back, and I thought so.
Gotcha.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
No. So I was just saying how what Westworld tends to do is they kind of present you with an idea that you think is going to be like the grand reveal at the end of the season, right? They've done this in each season. But then you find out that you were right. You know what I mean? What you think the obvious thing is turns out to be right, but that's not really it. There's always like another fucking rug that they pull out from under you. You know what I mean? Where you're like, oh, you thought you had it figured out and you were right, but guess what? There's a different, you pull out one rug and you pull out the next one. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I think it's going, where we're going to say like, okay, maybe this is all a simulation, but then there's a simulation that's in another simulation. You know what I mean? So, where it's like they double dupe you. You know what I mean? Bamboozled,
yeah,
so to speak. So I think that's where it's going. Hold on, I need to go get a water because my throat is freaking getting dry as hell.
Okay, no problem.
No problem. Feel free to talk about whatever the hell you want, but I just talked a lot about Westworld, so if you want to give your thoughts on it.
All right, so Dan left us. Now let's really talk about this, guys. What is Dan a good streamer or not? Is he a terrible gamer? I want to know from like his active followers, how bad is Dan at streaming? Chat room, people listening on podcast form, I apologize. We're going deep dive on the chat here, and it looks like my chat is broken anyway. So forget it. Let's talk about Westworld. I think Westworld is doing a fine with this season so far. I know that season 2 was a little bit convoluted, but season 3 seems pretty good.
Yeah, it is good.
It seems good. I like where it's headed. Did it end on how did this episode end?
Man, I don't remember.
It ended with like a big whoa. I can't remember.
I'm
going to kill you, dog. I'm going to murder your face.
In game.
My dog, not you. I'm talking about my actual dog.
Yeah, you're going to kill him in game.
He's trying to eat my head.
Oh, no.
He's being such a scutch right now.
Westworld was sick. I love the contrast between the first episode and the second episode of the season where the first, it was just such a difference between like the outside world and then that new park that we got to look at. Pretty crazy. Mike Terry, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, dude, I'm so off of this season. I haven't watched any of it, but I just heard it's been great.
Oh, it's been the best season in probably a decade. Basically, just ended. This was the season finale on Sunday. It was the 10th episode. So, I won't get into too many spoilers, but what I can say is that, let me just tell you that I watched this last night, because I didn't catch it on Sunday, so I watched it late. Let me tell you this. Curb Your Enthusiasm has taken my mind off of stuff more than anything else. Like, I was literally able to sit there and watch this finale for 40 minutes or however long it was, and I didn't think about how shitty things were outside. You know what I mean? I didn't think about the state of the world for a second of it. I was sitting there laughing the whole time, and that's kind of I feel like the gift of comedy right now, right? Like I recommend to everybody to watch as much comedy as you can. So if you think something's funny, go watch it. Go watch a bunch of fucking comedy movies because it'll definitely take your mind off things. Probably more than like something about the end of the world, for example. Anyway, Curb Your Enthusiasm wrapped up its 10th season, and let's face it, Curb Your Enthusiasm, the last like 3 seasons of this show, 7, 8, and 9 before season 10, have all been about like these ridiculous ideas. You know what I mean? Like he's either been putting on a Broadway play or has a fatwa out against him from the you know what I mean? Like a death threat from or like something sensational and over the top. You know what I mean? That's the Seinfeld reunion, for example, right? So
that season was like the last one I fully watched.
Yeah. So this season, when I say this season has been the best, I mean that it got back to what Curb Your Enthusiasm was at when it was at its best between the first 6 seasons of the show. It scaled things down. It wasn't about something sensational or over the top. It was just kind of about Larry David going about his life. You know what I mean? And the people around him and stuff like that. The kind of like, there were some themes that kind of carried on throughout the season. Like the biggest thing was kind of that he opened up a Spite Shop. He went early on the season. He went into this guy's cafe, Mocha Joe's Cafe, and the coffee was cold. The scones were soft, and the tables were wobbly. And these 3 things pissed off Larry David so bad that he kind of went off on Mocha Joe about it. And Mocha Joe banned him from the cafe, which prompted him to open up a coffee shop, Latte Larry's, right next door, which Larry David called the Spite Store. So that's kind of like what the season was about. And with that in mind, it was just so funny. It was just like smaller scale, nothing too crazy, but really funny. Kind of back to like just down to like the spotlight that it shines on just like one-to-one social interactions that are just so ridiculous between human beings.
Oh, cool. So maybe I should start it from the beginning then.
Yeah. And it's a great binge. Like Curb Your Enthusiasm, I actually rewatched the whole series in 2019, kind of in preparation for this new season. I watched it, I would say, probably in like October. And it's a long watch, dude. 9 seasons, but they're half-hour episodes. And, what's better than a long watch of laughing right now? You know what I mean? So,
dude, I'm down for anything that's a half hour to 45 minutes. Literally, everything is too long now. Dude, even what short this, but the episodes are like 120 minutes, you know? Mm-hmm. Or an hour.
Like hour and 10, hour and 15, right? So, Terry, you know what I want to do really quick? I want to start a different Discord call to see if it'll fix the internet connection issues, all right? I'm going to call you back on a different call. You hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, I'll call you right back.
It's really bad.
Yeah. I'll call you right back. Sorry, guys. Ba-ba-ba-boo. Hello? You hear me?
Yep, I can hear.
It's still fucked. Next week, we have to do Zoom.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I'm basically just lists pretty far behind lag too. It's all good. Well,
we'll struggle through it for the rest of the episode.
Thank you, listeners, for dealing with the audio.
Yeah. So Terry,
your break. So it's going to take us about 2 years to get our audio.
I know we got to get. Yeah, absolutely. Terry, tell me, are there any more shows that you've been watching? That's a crazy delay. What the fuck? Hold on, let me fucking. Hello.
What's going on?
I asked. Hold on, let me fix some things, dude.
This is crazy. I have a bit of news. If anybody can hear me, I have news. Jared Leto has a cult.
Yeah.
Jared Leto, the actor, the one who played the shittiest of Jokers. There is a Jared Leto cult.
Wow. So tell me about this cult.
Okay. So Jared Leto has a cult. He spent the last 12 days on a silent meditation retreat in the desert and only learned about the corona pandemic when he returned home.
What?
So he has a cult that he's been doing for a while now called Camp Mars. He brings refuge, and basically it's like a island off of somewhere near California, and basically he calls them like his family member, and now it's located. Okay, so Camp Mars is in Malibu now. So basically, he had a festival that he used to do in Croatia, but now it's in Malibu, and basically do movie nights. They basically call him the Prophet.
Okay.
It costs $1,000 to go. Everybody wears white robes. He looks like Jesus. There's like acoustic guitar, like hippie campfire bullshit. But basically, it's this is how every cult begins. When a cult happens, it's not like no one starts a cult and being like, "Hey, we're starting a cult." Like this is a religious retreat, or we're trying to go off the grid kind of people. It doesn't start off as like an evil, but this is like pretty crazy. And it's I guess it starts with 30 Seconds to Mars fans, and now it's become like a just weird. So I'm trying to get some more information on it because it's like it's been coming out, but basically it's really weird. The phrase attached to social media, Jared Leto, it's Mars Island is the name of the island. I guess they bought the island.
What the hell?
Dude, that's like
wait. You telling me Mars Island, like 30 Seconds to Mars? What the fuck, dude?
You see this?
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's Mars after 30 Seconds to Mars?
A cult, a family, of beautiful memories of us and our echelon leaders. So the followers call themselves the echelon. And they do triangle-shaped gestures. They also have memes. All hail our leader, the prophet.
Okay, here's the question. Here's my question about all this.
This is their hand signal. I am the echelon.
That's insane. That's it. Wait, it's like this? Wait, what is it?
So yes, the cons are that it's $1,000. It's a yoga, but they also have movies and it's basically just huge fans of the band, and it's cult-like behavior. But they're doing lots of these load. Oh my god. It's got just like he's just got like this weird. If you could see this in the chat, it's just like he's having these weird in circle talks, and everybody's wearing the same. Dude, yeah, he's got a cult going, and he makes you pay to do it.
All right, so let me ask you this: is this real, or is this like when Joaquin Phoenix? Everybody thought 12 years ago, everybody thought Joaquin Phoenix lost his fucking mind, but he was really just doing like method acting for a movie.
Nah, dude. There's multiple articles.
Remember when Joaquin Phoenix was like, everybody thought he was crazy because he was like starting to be a rapper and shit, but he was really just promoting the role for a movie?
No. Dude, he's fucking crazy. Dude,
so this is real.
Is fucking, yeah, oh yeah. I mean, have you ever fucking seen a 30 Seconds to Mars video? People are like losing their minds in the video. They're like basically having like full body orgasms while he's singing.
Oh god, sounds fucked up, dude.
Yeah, I mean the guy's got balls. Not everybody gets a musical career or an acting career, and he's got both, and now he's got a cult. So, good for him. I think he sucks. Anyway,
I never cared for 30 Seconds to Mars.
I'm not a huge fan of his movies either.
He's the worst Joker that it's ever lived, right? So
yeah, he's the worst Joker. Okay, so I guess
on to wrestling.
On to TV. AEW wrestling. I guess so. It's TV and wrestling. Wrestling is the only sport kind of going on right now in the world. And when we did the podcast last week, we weren't really sure how Wednesday was going to look between the shows, empty arenas and stuff like that. But AEW has managed to keep their viewership and have entertaining television with wrestling.
Absolutely.
During their wrestlers. And I think they've done an amazing job that for 2 hours, I was legit distracted about what was going on in the world. And I had severe joy. And like Dan was saying before, right now, I know there's a ton of people posting on social media all the time. And there's no real updates every day. You get the update in the morning. I suggest getting the news in the morning, living your day as you live, But when you're watching, try to watch stuff that makes you happy, something funny, comedy, something that's not as super heavy. And I think wrestling does a good job with that at times. So I just want to give it up to AEW and even WWE's trying. It hasn't been that great. I think to segue over, WrestleMania is next week. It's broken into 2 days, as we know of it now. It's on Saturday, April 4th and April. And I guess let's jump into WrestleMania talk.
Definitely.
So WrestleMania is kind of like the Super Bowl for wrestling.
Sure.
I feel like I don't know one person who watched a WrestleMania or seen some of WrestleMania, either at a party or not. So I went to our listeners and our Facebook page, and I asked people what their favorite WrestleMania moment. So, but first, Dan, I want you to tell your favorite WrestleMania moment.
My favorite WrestleMania moment, dude, and this is a real moment. I know you thought I was going to say something else, but my favorite WrestleMania moment comes from the WrestleMania that both you and I attended live in person. We went to WrestleMania 25 in Houston, Texas, a decade ago. 11 years ago, actually, in 2009. And, okay, my favorite moment was simply, obviously, it was from the match between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, which I am so happy that, like, me and you got to see that live in person. You know what I mean? No, that's like just a life moment that I'm going to remember forever, and I'm going to be able to tell. I probably won't have grandkids, let's be real. But if I did have grandkids, I'd be able to tell them, I saw The Undertaker in WrestleMania, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, motherfucker. You know what I mean? So my favorite WrestleMania moment during that match was when The Undertaker dove over the fucking top rope, and that man caught air like fucking LeBron James, dude. He flew over that motherfucker like a damn phoenix. That dude rose from the ashes and fucking dove over the top rope like I've never seen anything in my life.
And Shawn Michaels just threw the cameraman at him.
That's right. But from our angle, we didn't see the impact, right? The way we were sitting, we saw him fly over the top ropes, but we didn't see how he landed until we rewatched it later. Or, maybe on replay on the screen or something like that. And holy shit, I just remember just being awestruck by that, seeing that in person, and seeing just the spectacle that was that match. The entrances were crazy. Do you remember Shawn Michaels came down from the fucking top of the building? Like, he got that elevator thing.
Yeah, but that was cooler on TV, though, because we saw him get lifted up before they lifted him down.
Yeah. But what a spectacle. That was my favorite WrestleMania moment, man. What about you?
So I've been to 2 WrestleManias. Went to WrestleMania 25, and then I went to Dog, get down off that couch. Come here. Oh, you bastard dog. Sorry.
Oh,
folks.
Also, before you continue, I know exactly why Discord is fucking up right now. It just occurred to me.
Why is that?
It's because so many people are on it right now because of the situation that everybody. Yeah, because everybody that plays games on PC uses Discord as voice chat, so that's why everybody's home playing video games in Discord chats. That's why this shit's lagging. Anyway, go ahead.
Sorry. So my favorite WrestleMania moment was also at WrestleMania. Because 29, I don't really remember. Even though 25 was longer ago, 29, I don't remember so much. It was at Giant Stadium. And the only thing I really remember was CM Punk versus The Undertaker. And I was freezing cold and really drunk. So don't remember that one. But 25 I remember very well. And I'm not a religious person, but I literally had maybe a real life, like out of body orgasmic experience of the Shawn Michaels Undertaker match was
at Armenia
before. Yeah, at WrestleMania 25, the same one that you just spoke about.
Yeah,
that was mine, and I think it's because that is before the time of where we're in now in wrestling, where people are kicking out of finishers.
Yes.
There's like a million like epic matches. Like wrestling is amazing right now between NXT and AEW. There's insane wrestling matches in New Japan, all this stuff. But back then, like you just get a special match here or there, and WrestleMania and Shawn Michaels was probably it. And so like that match was the wrestling match of the year that year everywhere.
Oh, far enough.
And at that point, the best wrestling match I had ever seen in person,
yeah.
let alone with 75,000 people around me, and let alone we were only like 50 yards away.
We were close.
Weren't
we
that
had
far.
Fantastic seats, man. We did the travel package. You know, like it was like a grand. It included everything but the plane tickets.
Yeah, those seats would cost like $5. You know.
Yeah.
So, that match, that Goosebumps. I'm about to rewatch it later. Right now, I have old WrestleManias on in the background while we're doing this, just to get into the mood of WrestleMania.
Definitely.
But that's my favorite Mania moment. But I went to Facebook and forget about our moments. Our favorite moments were, and we could discuss them. But first, dog off his fucking couch. So, because he's not supposed to be on this couch. And I'm just trying to be not let him get bad habits. So get off the couch. Get off.
Get off the damn couch. Serious?
Yeah. Okay, sorry folks, I'm back now. Okay, so I went to Facebook. I asked some people. Let's see what we got here. Favorite WrestleMania moments, and we'll discuss. Okay, this is a good one. I remember this one. Old versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania.
Who versus
14.
Shawn Michaels?
Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Shawn with Mike Tyson in the corner.
Oh shit! Okay, I remember that.
So that was WrestleMania 14.
Okay.
That was a big deal because Mike Tyson was like a huge it was a huge deal that Mike Tyson, and they had that awesome Raw with the Tyson and Austin.
Yes,
Jim Ross going
yes.
crazy. Like that was the best, one of the best call. The match, I kind of remember, I was really upset with that match because Shawn Michaels was basically like retiring at that point.
Yeah.
Because his back injuries and his drug problems and all that shit. So I remember kind of being like bummed, but like Stone Cold Steve Austin was amazing.
Oh, for sure. Sure. I was listening to Austin talk about that match not long ago. I don't really listen to podcasts too much anymore, just because they take so much time to listen to, and I prefer like shorter things. So instead of podcasts,
as we record one,
yes, like I would never listen to the Rude Dude. I would never listen to the Rude Dude cast if I wasn't on it. But
but you're like I listen to a lot of podcasts. Like people listen to podcasts who drive a lot or like work in like a situations.
Like for me, oh yeah, for sure. Like if I'm driving, well, what I do is like I just. In the time that I would be listening to something like podcast or something, I just watch a lot of YouTube videos or whatever. Or if I'm driving, I'll throw on like a long form YouTube video, or I'll watch like the podcast version of it. You know what I mean? The YouTube version of a podcast. So I don't know why. I just I don't really have like Apple Podcasts or any kind of podcast thing. I got Spotify, but anyway, it's here nor there. My main point is I don't listen to Steve Austin's podcast, but in my YouTube algorithm, because I watch a lot of wrestling shit, I'll get like 10-minute clips of like, Steve Austin's podcast that somebody uploaded. And one of the ones that came up recently that I watched was Austin talking about that match with Shawn Michaels and the build up to it and stuff like that. And there was a lot of shit going on with Shawn Michaels behind the scenes with that match. I think Michaels was not in a happy place at that point in time. But
nah, he lost his smile.
Yeah.
I think at that point. That was his favorite speech. All right, so what else I got here? I got Jay Disposable says Ricky Steamboat versus Macho Man Randy Savage at WrestleMania 3 from the Superdome.
God damn.
Superdome. So that was crazy. That was 93,000 people. That's one of the best wrestling matches at WrestleMania.
Wow.
And one of the largest WrestleMania. I also got CM Punk versus Undertaker, WrestleMania 29. I remember the entrance, but I don't remember anything about that match.
I don't either.
Dan, you were there.
Which one?
WrestleMania 29. You bought...
I didn't go. I didn't get in. My tickets were fake.
Yeah.
I didn't get into the building. Fake tickets. Luckily, I didn't buy them, but I was... somebody else bought them. And then the tickets were fake.
Yeah.
Which sucked. But
Kevin Rose says Bret Hart versus Owen Hart at WrestleMania. That is a great match. That was also a great WrestleMania.
Which one? What'd you say? What'd you say now?
Bret Hart versus Owen Hart at WrestleMania 10.
What'd you say now, Chuck? No, I'm just kidding. I heard you. That's cool.
Yeah, that one was really good. Great wrestling match, great story. That's also the WrestleMania with Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon in the ladder match.
Okay.
You got Mega Powers exploding at WrestleMania 5. That's a big one. This one was great. And you know what? I like this one. Pam, that we work with, said WrestleMania 30, when Daniel Bryan won the title, shared the moment with Connor the Crush was the kid with the cancer. Connor scared. Yeah. But Daniel Bryan winning the title at WrestleMania 30 was one of the best wrestling moments in years because he was such an underdog. He fought twice that night.
Yeah.
And actually, they just played it on ESPN the other day. Let's see here. Someone said the first WrestleMania. I just started watching wrestling right before the first WrestleMania. That first one had everything. So that's pretty cool.
Which one?
Someone else here. WrestleMania 1.
I mean, listen.
Because they just started watching. Yeah.
Andre, when Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant, that was like a fucking big deal for its time. You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think that was WrestleMania 1, though.
It was, wasn't it? I think it was, dude.
I thought that was 2.
I thought it was. Maybe 2.
So, that could have been at WrestleMania 3 also. But I don't think. I think it definitely happened before that. So we have Austin versus Bret Hart, WrestleMania 13.
Sure.
That's a real good one. That was right after like, Taker and Michaels 1 and 2. That's what Chopper says.
What do you say? Taker's versus Michaels 1 and 2. Yeah.
So
hey,
WrestleMania 25 or 26.
Dude, Taker, and with that in mind, Undertaker versus Triple H, the 2 years that followed, holy shit, those matches were incredible too, man.
Yeah, I might just watch. I mean, it's tough to watch a lot of Undertaker matches back to back because his best matches are all those matches.
Yeah.
I might do that today. I might do 25, 26, 27, 28. Just do 4 Taker matches. The 2 Michaels. Yeah, but they fucked it up, man. They should have just had the 3 of them sunset. You remember when all 3 of them were like standing at the top of the ramp?
Yeah.
Like, they should have just ended there.
That should, yeah.
Dude, yeah, come on. It should have ended. 2 doinks. So that's definitely WrestleMania 9, which is what I have on the background. I think it's WrestleMania 9. Which is WrestleMania 9 is one of the coolest looking WrestleManias. It's live from Caesar. It's during the day. But
sure.
Like it's pretty much like at the height of WWE and like or WWF and like everybody's a gimmick, like really heavy gimmicks.
Yes. That dude wearing the bodysuit with the hair.
But that WrestleMania. Oh yeah. Giant Gonzalez.
Yes. Yes.
But this WrestleMania means a lot to me because this is the first WrestleMania I saw.
9?
So this is 19. Yeah, so this is 1993. I would have been 7, turning 8, and I was in my prime of rep, but we didn't really have a lot of money, so my mom wasn't ordering pay-per-views yet. Right. So this I got because I rented it from Captain Video.
Holy shit!
So I used to always rent. So Captain, the video store that by where we grew up, where Dan's mom actually worked at, was like a manager at for like forever,
a decade or two.
Yeah. I used to go there and rent wrestling movies all the time, and I would rent everything, and a lot of them were like the Coliseum videos, regular like house shows and stuff like that. But this was the first WrestleMania that I watched, and I think I rented this one like 1,000 times. Like I had watched other wrestling things, but like this is the time period before the internet, so like basically I would rent this pretty often just because it was like really long and like a spectacle, and it was WrestleMania. I had never seen one, and it was like at the very height of me growing into a wrestling fan. Probably where I really got into Shawn Michaels even more because he was in the opening match with Tatanka. But regardless, WrestleMania. So that's WrestleMania 9. Let's see here. Mark Pieman. What up, Pieman? If you're watching this live, right after this ends on 4:00, DJ Mark Pieman, a buddy of ours that we met at WrestleMania. He is a DJ, and he DJs awesome music on his Twitch page, and he also is doing a trivia. He's going to attempt doing trivia today because he hosts trivia at a bar, and I think there's money involved also. So check it out at 4:00 Eastern time if you're watching. I think that's 8:00 UK time. So DJ Mark Pieman. So shout out to Pieman. Said he really likes the blindfolded match and any of the Undertaker matches to WrestleMania 29 because he was there. Oh, and him and many other people said The Rock versus Hulk Hogan.
Really?
Yeah.
Nobody said Austin versus The Rock at WrestleMania 17?
Nobody said WrestleMania 17.
What the fuck?
Well, because I asked best matches or moments, but WrestleMania 17 is talked about as being one of the best WrestleMania.
Austin versus The Rock, dude.
Was that the last time though?
I'm not sure. I think so. No way. I think that was the first time. No, I don't know. Let me see. What year was it? I think that was like their best WrestleMania match, though. That's what. I'm pretty sure.
Will Good says Flair versus Shawn Michaels, the retirement match. He cries every time.
Oh, yeah, dude. Okay, so Austin versus The Rock happened at WrestleMania 17 in 2001. What WrestleManias? I think WrestleMania 2000?
WrestleMania 2000 is WrestleMania 17, isn't it?
No, WrestleMania 17 was the year after that.
Oh.
Okay. WrestleMania 2000... What a year. There was the video game of that. Holy shit, dude.
Dude, those old wrestling games are great. There's actually a new wrestling Retromania. It looks fucking awesome. It's going to be on Switch.
All right. The main event of that was like The Rock versus The Big Show versus like Triple H versus Mick Foley in a fatal four-way. That's kind of a shit four-way. How many times did Austin and The Rock wrestle at WrestleMania?
I don't know. Hopefully the Google knows. So yeah, I got a lot of Rock Hogans.
Weird. That's such a weird match to fucking.
Nah, dude, the match isn't great. It's the crowd, dude. They didn't even. The first 10 minutes is just the crowd cheering. Like if you watch Rock Hogan. This match of all time.
Wow. Okay, I got it. So here we go.
Okay, let's see here. What else?
Okay, check this shit out. Austin versus The Rock. The first time they wrestled at WrestleMania was in 1999. Austin won the match and the WWF title from The Rock. Then, at WrestleMania 17 in 2001, they wrestled again, where Austin won the WWF title again from The Rock, but this time with the help of his greatest nemesis, Mr. McMahon. Then finally, in 2003, The Rock and Austin wrestled again in a non-title match where The Rock finally beat Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 19 in Stone Cold Steve Austin's final match.
Right. Yes. They fought 3 times.
So the middle match would probably be the best one, right?
Yeah. See what else do I have here? Joey College says anything from WrestleMania 30. WrestleManias of like the modern era of the last 6 years. The 3-way tag TLC matches. Michaels versus Taker. Michaels versus Flair. Everybody, Michaels, Mr. WrestleMania.
Yeah, dude, he's Mr. Mania, man. Hey,
yeah, he's got a lot of big ones, but he never won. He always lost, except for WrestleMania 12, which is one of the best entrances where he slid down against Bret.
Of course.
Hart.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't know that Pat Patterson invented the Iron Man match.
No kidding, did he?
And I think the Royal Rumble also.
Hey, you know what? Did he really? You know what's another dark horse? Okay, low-key dark horse match that I really enjoyed. It's not one of my favorite WrestleMania moments. In fact, it's probably one of my least favorite WrestleMania moments. But the match was such a banger, but the result was so stupid. It was the terrible ending, but a fantastic match. Asuka versus Charlotte Flair, man. That match was a banger.
What was that, 2 years ago?
It was 2 years ago where Flair was the first person to defeat Asuka. Stupid. Because could you imagine how good it would have been if Asuka had won that match, won the title, and still been undefeated today, and wrestling Becky Lynch today?
They fucked up that story. They fucked up that match last year, too, with Becky Lynch and Ronda. It should have just been Becky and Ronda last year. But we're not talking about what they fucked up.
Yeah, I know.
Just,
ow, ow.
Dude, we're at like an hour 45 is having a panic attack, you know?
Who's having a panic attack?
I said my Discord is having a panic attack.
Yeah.
I was like, we're at an hour 45. My Discord, my audio is all messed up. I think it's time that we put this one in the ground.
Put it, bury it like WWE buried Ricochet.
So I would say next week we'll finish off the invasion from WrestlePotamia. Is it
Wrestletopia. From invasion from Planet Wrestletopia.
Yep, and then we will we'll preview the 2 days of WrestleMania.
That's right.
We'll see what matches happen there, and we'll see what's going on with AEW and all the TV shows and all that stuff. And I don't know. We'll see what the fans want to do. But
absolutely. And next week,
that's all I got on my end.
Definitely. Next week, Terry. We definitely got to do this on Zoom because Discord is just fucked right now. I think that's what it is. It's just that there's so many people on Discord right now, and so their servers are just probably super laggy at the moment.
It's all good. It's all good. You know, we'll just throw this one in the old track.
Yep. Throw it in the archives.
Maybe back.
Hopefully Nate will be back. We'll see. Who knows? Classic Nate could just disappear. But ladies and gentlemen, you could find us Facebook.com/ I gotta fact check myself. Hold on. Facebook.com/
Twitter is
it's RudeDudeCast.
Facebook.com/ RudeDudeCast. Twitter, Instagram at the RudeDudeCast. Or did I do it back?
No, you got it.
Yep. Find us every Wednesday until this pandemic is over. Twitch.tv/man_Doronius. That's DARRIOUS. No, DARR. No, fuck.
I got it. Your audio's cutting out anyway.
You do it. It's your name.
MAN_DARRONIOUS, ladies and gentlemen. And if you can't figure that out, just look at our links. The links are there. Just look at our social media and you'll find the links, potato people.
Google it.
Google it, motherfucker. All right, ladies and gentlemen, are we done?
We're toast.
Okay.
My Discord looks like your.
Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, deuces and gooses.